Welcome back to another edition of the Walker Valley Football Coaches Show with Walker Valley head football coach Drew Akins. Once again, we're sponsored all season long by Wholesale Supply Group. I'm Andy Morris, also with my friend Jacob Mason. And Coach, we're coming off the bye week, fall break, kind of some time to recover for some of the guys. But before that, coming off a great win at Ray County.
Yeah, it was a big win, a huge win for our program. You know, Ray County's been kind of a thorn in our side for a couple of years. Just trying to get over that hump. You know, they've kind of been what's been in the way of getting over that hump. So it was nice to go up there and find a way to win. I thought our guys played great. Huge reason to win. It sets us up for another opportunity in region to make a big splash and make some history with Walker Valley. So. Really excited to have that win. Was really excited to be on break. I think our guys took the opportunity to just rest for a little. I think, we were planning out the 2 weeks leading into McMinn and said, okay, what do we need to do? What's best for our program, best for our kids, best for what we're trying to get done. And I think the 4 days of rest was a big part of that. I think that was a big piece of, hey, what do we want to do to make sure that we have every bullet in our gun going to McMinn County. And I think that 4 days of rest was a big piece of it. I know it was for me, getting out of the country and going to Cancun and sitting by a pool for a few days. So that was really nice, but it was, excited to get back. Our guys' energy was awesome coming back. So just, they understand what's in front of them. They understand what they're going to try to accomplish. And we're excited to get back to work. So, but the Ray County game was awesome. It was a huge thing for our program, and I look forward to back, talking about it here in a second.
Yeah, Coach. So, on the broadcast Friday night, we gave Tucker Oimby and Evan the players of the game, but we were talking a little bit beforehand. You had a little bit of a different players of the game. Go ahead and dive into that before we dive into some film.
Yeah, we were looking at what happened, what made Friday night successful for us, and it wasn't necessarily any one particular player. I think we played so well as a team, offensively especially. I came in here maybe after the Cleveland game. I said, guys, we got to run the ball. We got to get back to who we were. Who we were against Bradley Central, against Ooltewah, against Notre Dame was a totally different team than who we were, on that 3-game skid. I was like, okay, what's different? Well, we were running the ball really effectively early in the season and not putting a whole lot on Evan. Later on, it became where we were putting a bunch on Evan and trying to ask him to do anything. So we went into Ray County saying, hey, let's get our identity back and let's get back to who we were. And when we looked at it, it was like, man, I'll tell you what, we could not have done what we did the other night against Ray County if it wasn't for Evan. Obviously in the backfield. But Evan wouldn't have been able to do what he did without the offensive line that was in front of him. And I thought our offensive line and tight ends and Wise, that group of guys, offensive line-wise, we started Riley Myers, Gideon Van Dyke, Townsend got his first start, Jeremiah Townsend, who obviously is a great wrestler for us. First start as a sophomore at center. Our right guard was Ty. I always try not to say Blueberry. That's what the kids call him. But Ty Parker started guard for us because Will was hurt. Will Turner was hurt. And then Luke Hawkins started at right tackle. And then Jackson Gibson and Troy Duskevich played a ton at tight end. And then Chipper Franks, I thought, had his best game at Y-back. So that group of guys played every snap offensively, whether it be 2 tight end sets or tight end Y set or tight end, single tight end set, and the 5 offensive linemen played every snap. And when you look at what we did, I think we had 38 rushes for 212 yards for the night, and that's just a huge night for our program. It allowed Evan to just go make the plays that he had to make when they were there. He didn't have to make every single play throughout the game. He made a play here, a play there, and dropped back. He didn't see anything, so he scrambled, and that got us some rushing yards. So that group just allowed him to just go play a very calm game. And because of that, I thought it translated into a really nice win. Defensively, Brady Montgomery just played his tail off. He was all over the field. He had 7 solo tackles, 3 assists. He had the big hit at the end of the game that jarred that ball loose. Just played a great game. I was really happy to see that. He kind of got his mojo back against them. And I thought that was awesome. And then special teams-wise, Eli Wilson had a great night. From kicking the field goal. I thought the field goal right before halftime was huge because before that we were kind of chasing points. We chased points with the 2-point conversion. The missed extra point was not his fault. It was a snap that was a little off. Didn't get it on the tee and probably should have fired that and tried to get around the edge. So that wasn't on him, but then he had the field goal right before halftime that kind of made us quit chasing points, gave us a lead going into halftime. Came out of halftime and get another field goal to go up by 4, and then the onside kick was just huge. It allowed us to hold on the ball even longer. Ended up only getting one drive in the third quarter. They only got one drive in the third quarter because of that. I think we snapped the ball 30 to 35 straight snaps. With that momentum of getting that onside kick, from the end of the second quarter, getting the ball to the start of the third quarter to the onside kick, I think it was 35 straight offensive snaps without them touching the ball at all. So, really cool night. I thought Eli played great. The execution on the onside kick was perfect. It's exactly what we talked to him about. And Brady obviously recovered that too. So, on top of being the defense player of the game, he also had the fumble recovery on the onside kick. So, we had a lot of guys stand out, but it was as a team victory as I've been a part of since probably 2020 season, where it wasn't one guy making every play. You look back to last year, Ryan made all the plays at Carter. This year we've kind of had standout guys make plays. Tucker Owenby with 3 touchdown catches in a game. That the other night I thought was just a total team effort, and it was fun to watch from my vantage point for sure.
It absolutely was, and of course this is McMinn week, so what better way to come into this week than having a big region win at Ray County 2 weeks ago. So real quick with Coach Akins, we're going to dive into some film whenever we're good to go on that, but again, this week's game, another region game at McMinn County on the road. So, Coach, at Ray County, what a great crowd we had. It was a great football atmosphere before we dive into video here.
Yeah. That's always a cool place to play. We're able to go to Ray County. I think it was a homecoming night for them, and it's always a cool place to play. I think it's one of the more fun places that we get to play at as we go through our regular season schedule. Going to Ray County every 2 years is always a fun place to go to. So that was exciting to go over there and win over there is a big deal, man. We haven't done that, I think, one other time as a program. I thought the first night other night, I thought it was the first time we ever won. Eric Swafford was quick to tell me I was wrong. So. All right, so this is how we just kind of open the game, and when you see kind of the play, how we kind of developed through this opening drive, I thought our offensive staff did an awesome job. So I'm going to go back to the sideline view first. So we knew by going twins receivers, so these 2 receivers out here, we knew we were going to get their overhang out of the box, and that's part of their run fit. So you take a hat out of the box when we do that. So by taking a hat out of the box, what do you do at that point? So this guy's out of the box now. So look at this gap that's now opened up here for the run lane. So we double team Riley and Jackson are going to double team to this backer. We're going to do the same thing with the nose guard to the backside backer, and then our guard's going to pull and get the front side backer. So really cool play design. Noah did a great job, and then at DZ is an extra hat there. So by being able to handle all those gaps front side, we're pulling an extra guy with Troy Duskevich here. He's pulling for nobody, essentially. He's just cleaning up trash there. Noah did a great job getting outside. So opening the game with an 11-yard gain, just a basic counter play, but its design of the play was what kind of got us in that set where we were able to really have no unblocked hat until the safety, which is a big-time play for us. Second play of the game, we come back, getting that same set. We go to the field with our twins this time, and we read the front side guy. Instead of blocking the front side guy, it's hard to see from this angle, so let's take it to the drone shot. So again, we're going to go into this, into these front side 2, so we're now going to run zone blocking. So we're all going to block zone this way, zone this way, zone this way. And then Jackson's just going to arc and make sure he pins this guy. And now the running back's going to go, and Evan's going to read that unblocked hat right there. So this guy is going to be the unblocked hat, and we're just going to read that guy. And when you see everybody blocks left, that guy takes the running back. There's nobody left for Evan, right? Again, that's just a play design based on us being able to get the overhang out of the box. So by getting him out of the box, that takes a run fitter out of the play. And we have more hats than they have. So now we're able to run the ball. So really cool, again, play design early on in the game gets us we have 2 rushes for 19 yards at this point. So if you would have said, hey, you can average 9.5 yards per rush throughout the night, I think we would all take that. So that's a great start to the game. This is, again, another great play design by our offensive staff. We now go trips away from a tight end set. So we have a tight end over here, which forces them to keep an alley defender backside. We go trips, which puts us, if you look at the numbers, it's 1, 2, 3, those 3 guys on our 3 guys receiving. So that becomes really difficult for them to cover all the spots here. We run a little pick play. Larkin's going to go sit down. Blaine does a good job of outside releasing, which shields that guy. Larkin sits down on the outside backer. It leaves B completely uncovered to the sideline. Big 18-yard gain right off the bat. So, again, I think this is just a better view of this. When you look at just the mesh play, Blaine outside releases, which gets that guy's eyes off of B right now. So when Blaine, our middle guy right here, outside releases this backer, when I say outside release, we're going to try to work through his outside shoulder to vertical. Well, what that does is that forces that guy to jam. And now it forces this guy's eyes, okay, he's the one going vertical, so I need to cover him. Now this guy would be the guy, he has deep third, so he can't run and cover our short guy. This is the short defender. So we're outside releasing him, and then Larkin's going to sit on him, and then our running back, they play secondary contain with their outside backer, so they don't have a 4th hat on this coverage. So you see that outside backer comes to tackle our quarterback. Well, we said we're going to block him. We're just going to outrun the defensive end. And Evan's able to do that, get his shoulders turned, get the ball to B real quick, and able to get a big 18-yard gain. The next 2 plays, they did a pretty good job stuffing power front side. We throw a little zero hitch. Actually, don't read it right. If you watch this again, we run that similar zone read that I talked about earlier. So this time we're going to reach these 2 guys. Jackson and Riley are going to reach these 2. Wehunt is going to go block the corner, and B's going to run a zero hitch. And we're going to read this cat now. And if he comes to block the zero hitch, or tackle the zero hitch, Evan should be able to run. If he comes and tackles Evan, the zero hitch is 1 on 2, and that's a pretty good numbers. So when you watch that, you see kind of Evan, we missed the reach blocks, and Evan misses that read. We still gained 2 yards, but it made it a little less clean than we had hoped for. And then the last plays are really, again, just a good play design by our offensive staff. So, again, we went trips nub, and they got some real issues over here, trips nub, cover and pass. So 3rd and long, we knew we wanted to get into this set because we knew they didn't have the numbers advantage here. What you've seen us run out of this is you've seen us run a vertical on the outside, a 2-step out by the inside receiver, and then a 12-yard out by Tucker. Again, we're doing our little look away and then sprint off of it. So I just told you they're going to use this guy right here as secondary contain. So what that means, when he sees sprint out, he's going to come tackle the quarterback. Well, normally we would pin this end with the running back. The running back would go and they'd pin this in. We said, hey, let's not worry about the end. Let's outrun the end. And running back, you're now going to arc and look for this guy. So now their secondary contain guy is pinned, and he's unable to contain the quarterback. So Evan's going to sprint out. They did a thing on the goal line where this guy ended up sitting right here on the goal line, which takes away the 12-yard out. This guy, 2-yard out, is guarded, but nobody's left in the back corner of this end zone. Evan does a great job using his eyes, and when you watch it from this angle, it's pretty good. Where we roll out, we saw it. This is a check with me. So we checked with me, saw what they were in. We moved the running back to make that block a little bit easier. So now that running back has a little easier block than back here. He has a long way to go. So move him. We get the sprint out. There's the secondary contain we talked about. And you see it open right there at the very end. Their corner sits on right here in this look right here. Boom. Okay, everything looks covered. But this guy's going to sit right here on the goal line and cover that out. This guy's coming up to that, and Larkin's just going to slip to the back corner and just sit, and that safety can't get over top of Larkin. Evan times it really well. Throws
Very
a
good
great
throw.
ball.
Very good throw.
Great
right
ball.
there.
It's just a cool opening drive, man. When a plan comes together and you kind of know, you have a really good feel of what they're going to be in, and you get a gash run, another gash run, a gash 2-yard throw for an 18-yard gain. That kind of starts you out on a comfortable foot, and we were able to just dive into that. So really cool start to the game. A couple other plays just throughout. We went on our load, but you haven't seen the load set since Notre Dame. We brought the load set back. Again, it really helped us just getting numbers to the front side of our run. This is a cool shot from the drone. They made us move it to the sideline, but you can still see a really good look. Watch the double team right here between Riley and Jackson. This double team right here is a really clean double team, and that allows us to get some movement there and get outside of it. So load was good to us all night. This is the kickoff, or this is the field goal right before halftime, I believe, is what that should have been. Oh, no, that's the field goal right after halftime. That's the one that got us down, put us up 18-14. And this is right after that field goal, the onside kick, and really this is the best angle at that. And it's
Jacob
still,
and I might have been a little fired up when you did that.
man,
by
I'll
the
tell
way.
you what, it was Brandon Ashby, Coach Ashby, put it in my head. Hey, next time we get a kickoff, Coach, what do you think about that? And I said, yeah, let's do it. We had worked it. It was something we had talked about. We knew we wanted to do it. What happens is that these guys kind of drop, and there's nobody in the middle of the field. You can see that big opening in the middle of the field. And we told Eli, just put it on the 40 right here. And if we can get it to the 40, we put Blaine and Brady, our two fastest guys, right here in the middle. And I think we just kind of surprised him. And he almost got it. I mean, we told him to put it on the 40. He put it on, the 41? So great job by Eli, putting a great kick for Brady to go get. I think we just shocked him with it.
Oh yeah, the front line had no idea that
No,
that
I don't even know that they knew the ball was bouncing.
until you guys were running back with the football to the sideline. They had no idea what was going on.
Jacob and I talked about that during our broadcast. Their backs were to our entire front line going back for coverage and had no idea.
Yeah, it was a really cool play, man. And we didn't score after it, but, man, we took more time off the clock.
It was a huge momentum
yeah,
get for us. though.
Anytime that you can keep it, like you talked about earlier, anytime you can keep a defense on the field for 30-something plays and you bleed the clock all the way down to, I think it was like 3:40, somewhere around in there.
Low, yeah, it was
And
below 4 for
you
sure.
get one possession in the third
possession.
quarter. That's a success right
Yeah,
there.
it was really cool. I was super happy with the execution of it all night. Again, we went back to our load set. You just see our load set, man. It's really tough to deal with. You just get a bunch of hats. Again, watch the double team. Watch the double team between Riley and Jackson. Just sealing that off. And then you have Eli Denton leading it. You got Eli Denton on the first thing. Chipper's going to the second thing. Blaine does a great job blocking. And just a really cool play for us.
So you talked about the offensive line and how well they played. Something I've noticed through most of these plays is the offensive line being able to get their hips around and sealing that running lane for their running backs. That's something that I'm very impressed with so far watching the film.
Yeah, watch it from this angle. So watch that double team. Boom, you see the movement, and there's a huge hole there.
You could drive your truck.
Absolutely, man. So really cool thing. And so this is an underrated play throughout the game. So we just scored, made it 25-14. They drove down right after that. There's not a whole lot of time left. There's probably 8 minutes and some change left at this point. If they go score here, it's 21-25. It becomes uncomfortable at this point for sure. And just a huge play right here. They fumble. Jackson's able to get on top of it with the fumble recovery. They're fighting over it underneath. I think he had Zeke's leg too. But that was a huge play. We ended up on that drive not scoring, but again, we took a 5-minute drive, took it from 8 minutes left on the clock to 3 minutes left on the clock when we punted this. And then after this punt, Blaine's able to get on top of this, scramble around for a little bit, and Blaine's able to undercut this vertical. and a smart play just
Yeah.
getting down at that point.
So,
We didn't need the score, and it kept the ball in our possession for sure.
I gave him a lot of praise on the radio. Most high school kids see that and they're thinking, oh, I'm going to go get 6.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get 6. And there wasn't a whole lot of time on the clock left, but to have the awareness to get down
Yeah.
and say, hey, I'm going to let my quarterback go knee this and let's go get a
Yeah.
dub. I gave him a lot of praise because you just don't see a whole lot of high school kids be selfless and say, hey, instead of 6, I'm going to get the win for my team and let's just knee it.
Yep, absolutely, and that was a great job by him. Again, we make the quarterback scramble, kept him in the pocket. He's super dangerous, and able to go undercut that. And that essentially sealed the game. We got in load, ran 3 or 4 more plays, and finished the game out. But I thought those plays were the big plays throughout the game that kind of changed the game. And man, that first drive, I criticized our offensive staff after a couple of these games. I thought our offensive staff had a great plan put together starting that game out. I think Ben Braun, our offensive line coach, Tyler Pope, our quarterbacks coach, those are the main 2, offensive. Tyler does our pass game coordinator. Ben is our run game coordinator. And I thought those 2 guys really worked really well together, creating a plan, and I thought our kids went out and executed it great. I think Coach Morris is doing a great job with our running backs. Coach Guthrie has been a great addition at receiver. Coach Anderson's been awesome to have around. Jack Anderson, a former player. And Coach Delbridge is a kid, a young guy who's been around here a bunch, and he's always here, always trying to learn. He's done a great job with our tight ends and wides. I thought our offensive staff just did an unbelievable job preparing for this game. And it showed. It showed up on Friday night. So, and obviously our defense, I praise our defensive staff all the time. They deserve every praise they get because, they came out. I think what happened early, those first 2 drives, they went down and scored. And it was like, hey, guys, what's going on? He's like, Coach, we just got to get used to the tempo. And once they got used to the tempo of that offense, our guys shut them out the rest of the game.
Defense did what they do.
Yeah, they do. They just play so hard. And when offense plays too, that defense is really scary. They're really hard to deal with. When our offense is sputtering and putting the defense out there, it makes it really hard on our defense. And even in those games, they played really well. Gave up 14 to Carter, was at 20-3 for forever against Cleveland, and just kind of ran out of gas. So our defensive staff obviously does a great job. I've been really proud of them throughout. But I thought our offensive staff did a great job putting this together, and our kids did unbelievable executing it. And that's what we've been trying to teach. Hey, man, we're going to put a great plan. Y'all go execute it. And I thought Ray County was as good plan/execution as we've had in 2 years. I'm really proud of everybody involved with that.
Definitely a great time for this team to start clicking again because, like we said, there was a little skid there where you said offensively you got away from what you wanted your identity to be. But, again, we talked about this week after week on the radio. The region play is what's important. And with that, huge win over Ray County. Now this week it's McMinn week. We're on the road at McMinn, another good football environment, but I'm feeling good. The Mustangs are clicking again.
We definitely seem to be getting back to our identity. And like you said, a huge time to do that. Region opponent coming up this week with McMinn County. They're very good on both sides of the ball. Their defense is very good. I think they're giving up like 13 points a game right now. Offensively, they got a quarterback and a running back duo. They've moved, so the original quarterback has moved to running back, and their wide receivers moved to quarterback. And, man, those 2 can go score from anywhere. It doesn't matter. They run the ball very efficiently. They're young up front, but, man, those 2 guys with the ball in their hands special. And then they got some receivers that make it tough on you. They get the ball in space. They're really difficult to handle. So our defense has a great challenge again ahead of them. I think our offense has an even bigger challenge because defensively they're just so good. They got a guy at each level that's just a playmaker, man. Number 99. I don't know his name, but y'all are going to call his name on Friday night. He's a good player. And if we don't handle him, if we don't handle business with him, it's going to be a tough night. 41 at the next level is a really good player. He started for him 2 years. He's only a junior, so he's similar to Eli Denton, where he's just been the starter since he's been there. And then they got 16 and 9. Their quarterback and their running back also play their safety positions. And those guys come down to stop run. They're all about stop and run and making you throw the ball to beat them. So we have to come up with another great plan to run the ball. It's not just, hey, let's line up and run right. Let's line up and run left. It's going to be, hey, why are we running this? Because there's an extra hat here, there's an extra hat here that we have to account for. So they got 8 guys in the box, and we still have to be able to run the ball efficiently. So how do you do that? It's going to take some scheme, and it's going to take some ideas by our offensive staff and some creativity. And it's going to take playing well up front, executing, and making sure that we handle number 99 up front, because we've got to put a double team on him at all times. We've got to read him. We've got to confuse him. We've got to trade him. Like all the things, anything that we can do to make it where he can't impact the game like he normally does, we're going to have to work on. So great football team. I'm excited to go up there. You know, again, I think Coach Cagle, I have a ton of respect for Coach Cagle. He runs a great program. He always has. He's always been very helpful, and he's a great guy. But, man, he's all about winning. And he's instilled toughness and pride within his program, and we're going to have to compete against that on Friday night. And the cool thing is, whoever wins it gets the first 3 rounds at home. First 3 rounds, and you know they get to have a trophy that says Region Champion on it, and that's a really cool opportunity for our kids to have. And in the end, you know, we play all these tough games, and we played a tough schedule, but we play these tough games so we're prepared for a game like this. So we feel like we've prepared our kids on the road here, and now we've got to continue that momentum and continue a great plan and great execution and all those things that we just talked about in order to get a win on Friday night.
So once again, the game Friday night is at McMinn High School on the road. Come out, support the Mustangs. If you're not able to come out, you can tune in and listen to Jacob and I on Sports 99.1 pregame starting at 6:30. Coach, 7:30 kickoff, correct?
7:30 kickoff.
So again, if you can come out to McMinn County, support the Mustangs to hopefully a region championship with a win over McMinn. So, Coach, we're looking forward to Friday. We're excited for you guys, and we're really pumped up after that Ray County win.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited about it too, and excited to have the opportunity to be right here with a region championship right here in front of us. Everything we want, you know, we talked about it 2 weeks ago. Everything we are frustrated about is behind us. Everything we want is in front of us. So let's go focus on what's in front of us. So we're excited about it.
All right, guys, that'll wrap up our coaches show. We will see you next Friday.